Hi, I'm Dave with Front Porch Ideas and More.com. I had the good fortune recently of interviewing Nancy Moore. Nancy's the owner and founder of the Porch Company in Nashville, Tennessee. Nancy and I talked about how to choose a contractor for your porch project. She has some great insight into what you need to do beforehand, before you select the contractor, how to select the right one for your particular project, and also a behind-the-scenes look into some insights that most homeowners may not know or realize that goes on. So I'm sure you'll enjoy this interview with Nancy Moore. Nancy, nice to have you here.
Thank you.
With us. This is fantastic for us. Could you tell us a little bit about the Porch Company?
Okay, we are a design build company, so we take the step all the way from the first time the client comes with absolutely no idea of what they really want, refine that idea, create a design, give them a bid, and then do the construction on the project.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We've seen your work, and Nancy's built some fantastic looking screen porches and porches. They're just beautiful in this area. Just absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to build a porch, and I'm going to go out and want to get bids for a contractor to come in and build that for me, but I want to be able to show the different contractors basically the same plan or my same ideas. And what happens lots of times is we have contractors come in and they have their own ideas, and so we get a bid that's not exactly the same. So how does a homeowner that wants something done like that, what do I need to do beforehand to make sure I kind of get what I want?
Before you go to the contractor and say, I want a bid, you want to know exactly what you want. You can't ask for something unless you know specifically what you want. And lots of times people come into us thinking they know what they want. We do an educational process with them and say, explain the options and the different things that they can do, and they may change their mind. So the first thing you've got to do is do your research. Go to various contractors, architects, designers, whomever you want to, and develop, find somebody or just conclude on yourself what are the things that you want. Once you know that, then you can get a fixed plan on paper with specifications, and that's when you would finally go to a contractor and ask for a bid.
Okay.
Like in our case, people come to us and generally don't bid it out to multiple people, because by the time they've gone through our process and they realize you have exactly what I want, they typically will just use us to do the bid. Yeah,
and that's what I find happens a lot of times too. For that purpose, you do that for people, which is great. But if I want to go out for the bid and I come to you, I don't want you spending all your time working all this, and then I'm going to end up going with somebody else taking your plan, because I know you don't want your plans to go out. No contractor wants plans to go out because it's their plans.
Right.
So in those cases, do I do what you said, pretty much create something on paper that I can get the general kind of ideas from contractors' inputs, and then come back and select from that perspective?
The answer to your question is you have to have a written plan and specifications before you can go to bid. But until you get to that point, you've just got to talk to lots of different people to get that plan together. For example, we charge for our plans. You know, so once we do a set of plans for you, we have great hope that we will get to build the project. But just because we drew the plans doesn't mean necessarily we will win that bid.
Sure.
It's a competitive situation. But find somebody to draw your plans who will give you what you want. Yeah. Once you've made those decisions, then you go out to bid. Now, people often come to us with a set of plans that somebody else has drawn, and we will give you a bid and say, based on this set of plans, this is the cost. But we have suggestions for you that would either improve the project or reduce the cost, and we will present those. But we will present them as alternatives.
Yeah, and this leads us into exactly what we were talking about this morning, is choosing the right contractor. This leads right into that. It's very good. What's the basic rules of thumb then? I'm at that point, I've got a plan. What are some of the basic rules of thumb as a homeowner and the person's buying this service need to know?
All right. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of horrible stories about things that have gone wrong in the building industry. And 9 times out of 10, the contractor takes the blame of having really messed up. But I want to put the onus back on the individual, the purchaser, to say you need to do your homework And if you hire the wrong contractor, you probably will end up with a bad project. So make sure that you realize that you have responsibility to hire the right person. The way you go about doing that is you've got to do your research and investigation. The first thing I would always start on is whomever you hire, you need to make sure that's what I call a person of integrity, a person that's going to do what they say they're going to do, they're going to live up to their promises, they're a person that believes in quality and values that, they're the person that takes care of their employees, their subcontractors, their client's home. You know, it's got to be a person of integrity, and there's lots of ways that you can check that out. And can I refer to my blog?
Yeah, you have your blog?
My blog that goes into a little bit more detail on the things that you can do to check out that kind of a person. But first of all, get you a person of integrity. Don't expect a quality job done by somebody who shows up and says, well, if you don't get a building permit, I can save you some money. That's not a person of integrity. Okay. The second thing is to make sure that person, that contractor, does on a typical basis the kind of work that you want done. Use an example. Don't ask a deck builder to build your kitchen cabinets. He may do the very best job he can, but it still is not sufficient quality for a kitchen cabinet. So make sure that person has the ability to accomplish the work that you want done. Okay, just because he's a contractor doesn't mean he can do anything. Everybody has their, what I call their sweet spot.
Yeah, I like that term you use, a sweet spot for their skill levels. That brings the next thing is on skill level itself of the contractor. You allude to that in there a little bit, but that's real important.
Right. And different contractors, for example, a deck builder, I use that example because that's kind of in my world, he can build a very substantial deck, but it may not have some of the finesse and the details and the artistic creativeness that a fine woodworker is going to do and do a piece of furniture. Obviously, they're both skilled in what they do, but they have a different set of skills. At the same time, that fine furniture builder, you build them a deck, you'll have a beautiful deck, but it'll be so costly and so overbuilt that it's not reasonable. So everybody's got a different set of skills that they use, and that's who they are.
Good. You had mentioned to us at some time in previous conversations about some websites that you can actually check out.
Absolutely. Well, especially since the advent of the internet, it's totally changed. But there's the Angie's List, there's City Search, obviously there's the Better Business Bureau. There's all kinds of websites that you can go to find out about people and companies. And on those, like on City Search and Angie's List, people who have used those companies will write in and make comments. If there's a negative comment, they may make a negative comment. They may write positive comments. The contractor or the person being reviewed has an opportunity to respond to those criticisms. So those are a great source. And if nothing else, just Google that builder's name, and you should find something on the internet about them.
Yeah, good or bad.
Good or bad.
You'll find that. And if it is bad, is allow the contractor to be able, if you still want to use them or you're still thinking them, just allow the contractor to come back.
Oh, absolutely. There's all kinds of people in the world, and some people are unreasonable and have maybe it was a crazy client. There are people like that out there. So absolutely give that contractor an opportunity to respond to those criticisms and see what he says. Yeah, you have to. Wait, there's a story about the micrometer. You've got to share that. Oh, okay. Well, I had an engineer for a client, and of course engineers are very, very precise, and we built him a wooden screen porch, and we had it painted. And he called me one day and he said, Nancy, I was out there with my micrometer and I don't think we got 3 coats of paint. So, he probably was right. We probably missed a spot. But that's good. That's good.